Practically speaking, it's never quite that easy. There's always some hiccup.
So I'm back here in the action prep area, and Travis is now putting the bushings into this Blüthner keys. This is there's two sets. So he's already started these here, which would be the front bushings, and then now he's working on the balance. And so as you can see, we've got these bushing cauls, I think we call them, and that holds the felt in place while it's being glued. Let's talk about this, because I know there's lots of sizes. So what is the first thing that you do before you even start putting this bushing cloth in there?
Size everything.
So we're sizing it?
You never know what size it's going to come in as, and you never know what conditions the wood is going to be in. So the very first thing I do before I even get close to putting anything in is get everything oiled out, sand it, clean the surfaces, make sure the new glue will stick properly, and then figure out what size bushing cloth I actually need, or if I need to modify the keys themselves to fit bushing cloth, which is this case.
So this comes in a big sheet. It doesn't come already cut.
No. Actually, the sheet's over there on the cutting board.
Okay.
It's getting a little low, but that is what I cut off.
So this is one size, and there are other sizes, right, that are thicker, or maybe even thinner, depending on what you need. And then we cut them to the size of the slot that it's going to go into, right? So you've cut it to fit this precisely.
Yep.
And so when you go to make sure that this is the right width, you're checking it with the pins here?
Yeah. Well, width would be the size of the slot, thickness, and I'm checking it against the pins on the keyframe, and of course the holes themselves. The slots, they come in all different shapes and sometimes sizes, although they're supposed to be relatively uniform. So it really depends there. What you really want, at the end of the day, whatever thickness bushing cloth you're going for, the goal is to have it so you can move easily. And you can see this is a little tight. I haven't sprayed them yet, but you can see how it drops down on its own. You want it to do that, but you also don't want it to move side to side as I'm putting pressure. You're trying to walk that fine line. And the fronts are similar, but you want them to be able to move a little bit side to side. There's just on a hair.
Okay, so there's a lot in the feel of it.
Yeah.
Because if it's too tight, then it's going to get stuck, and it's not
Absolutely.
going to play well. If it's too loose, it's just going to be too much.
It'll flop
movement,
around and
flop around.
once again goes back to not play well.
It really doesn't play well. So a lot of this is touch that you're doing.
Yeah.
And because it's felt, the nature of felt is going to compress a little bit too. So you're also having to keep that in mind, I'm assuming, as you're putting this in.
Especially in the gluing process, I got after a while you get an internal timer, but I used to have the top timer going. You don't want to leave the coals in too much because they'll press the glue in too deep into the felt, and then a size that would work would no longer work. So you got to be real careful of that one.
There's a lot of things to consider when you're putting these new felts on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, theoretically, mathematically, the process is easy. Find a caul the same size as your pin, cut the cloth that feels good when the caul is in, and there you go.
Right.
Practically speaking, it's never quite that easy. There's always some hiccup. The keys are damaged, the cauls are pressing just a hair too hard, so that they overcompress. There's something.
Right.
So a lot of by feel.
So you're doing some problem solving in this process too.
Usually.
Yeah.
Like this set, for instance, old German set, the original bushings were leather. That means the slots are extremely thin. And you can actually see these pins, a little unusual for your Steinways, your Masons, whatever have you. They're rather thin. They're not the standard circles that you see in the center pins or in the front pins of most other brands. And that means when we're putting in standard bushings and not redoing the leather ones, which have a few issues over time, they're often too thin, so you wind up having to by hand sand out and resize the entire set just so
you're making it
accepts the new
work
felt. Yeah.
properly with the felt, because we're not using leather, because leather tends to it not work as well in the long run.
It can harden, it can cause issues. I mean, it worked well enough for the original, but you can see it when it comes in. It's not as good, and it can squeak, oddly enough.
Start making noises where the felt wouldn't.
Yeah, on the metal, it can't. If there's anything in the leather and it's not just the right kind, it will actually start making rather annoying noises very quickly.
Well, that's not good. We don't want that. This is a Bluthner key set, and so you can take a look here. This is very different than what you typically would see. First you've got this here, and then you've got a couple holes that aren't typically on there, and it doesn't have the, remind me of that metal piece there. Capstan. It doesn't have the capstan on there that normally it would have. It will have a back check, we just haven't put those on yet. And you can see that this felt back here, the end felt, has been replaced with some beautiful blue. And so let's talk about how this is working, because this is not your standard modern action. This is going to be the Blüthner patent action. We've talked a little bit about that before, but we can really get specific with this because we're in the process of prep. So this is original, and this does not get replaced. So maybe let's walk over here, because Travis might need to shed some light on this too. But this is installed this way, is that correct, into these holes? This is how it's going to go.
Oh, no. This one is reverse. Because that's got to go forward to the key and the hammer in the back. That wire winds up hooking right in there. There we go. That sits there. This will actually be regulated, so it's just barely touching there. And that spring will slot in. There we go. So that way, this comes out, presses against that, and that's going to cause your return. And that spring in front is actually going to be responsible for the actuation of the key itself, because you have this off-center drilling.
So we have a few of these coming through, so we're going to get really good at this. But, yeah, this is a very interesting way of doing it, and it works well.
Well enough, yeah. Different touch, but it does work.
Different touch, but it works well, and we love it when it's all said and done. Thank you, Travis.